Welcome to another episode of Bears News Network. I'm your host, Mike Anderson, where we talk Chicago Bears sports like Chicagoans do, man. The number one place for prizes and tickets. So if you're a Chicago Bears fan, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate all the love and support. In this episode of Bears News Network, we're going to get into the matchup of Caleb Williams versus Jayden Daniels. The Chicago Bears going against the Washington Commanders. Caleb Williams going back home to Washington, D.C. We're going to get into how these two teams fare up against each other and who comes out with the win. Stay tuned for all that and more right here on Bears News Network. Welcome back to another episode of Bears News Network. Before we get into this matchup of the Chicago Bears versus the Washington Commanders, what we like to tell everybody, if you're just first now coming up over here and visiting the channel, hit that subscribe button, share, comment, done to win a prize. Subscribe to the channel. You can subscribe just as regular as you want to, but in order to win some prizes, you have to hit the share and comment done in order to win the prizes. And speaking of the prizes that we got over here at Bears News Network, just to show you guys a picture of those, these are some of the things that we got eligible for you guys that we give away totally free. Like I said, Bears signs, if you can see some of the gifts, coffee mugs, spatulas, rugs, blankets, all kind of things that we get over here that we give back to you guys. And then also, if you guys wanted to be in the running for the raffle for the 1985 Chicago Bears championship ring, all you have to do is Cash App or PayPal $5 attached with your name. The PayPal and Cash App is right underneath this video going across the screen for you, so you can find that information there. And that includes the 1985 Chicago Bears championship replica ring, a jewelry case, the ring bag, and then we're going to throw a couple of those gifts that you've seen on that screen in there as well for you guys. So if you guys want to do that and join that, go ahead and follow those directions. Now, we're going to get into this matchup with the Chicago Bears versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. And when you look at both teams offensively, we can go into the numbers. When you look at the Chicago Bears offense and how they matched up against the Commanders offense, you can no doubt see that the Commanders offense is better than the Chicago Bears offense. But when you look at the Chicago Bears offense, they rank 12th in points per game at 24.7. They're ranked 24th in total offense. That's bottom second half of the league. But in Caleb Williams' last three starts, this is what stood out to me. The Chicago Bears have been putting up 32 points per game. Caleb Williams have thrown for 7 touchdowns and just 1 interception, and then had a 123 QBR rating and then a 74 passer rating. And then they've been averaging 250 yards a game. Meanwhile, on the Commander side, under Jayden Daniels, the Commanders is ranked number 1 in points per game with 31.1. They're ranked 5th in total offense, and then they're ranked 4th in yards per game with 384 yards. Now, it's still yet to be determined if Jayden Daniels would play, but Marcus Mariota, and we see what he did last week at Carolina against the Carolina Panthers. 18 of 22 attempts, 205 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and a 132 rating. When you look at the offense, there's no doubt about it, Washington offense is better than the Chicago Bears offense. But if Jayden Daniels not playing, we can't just sure up and say this is still a win for us, even though it's better chances that it will be a win. But Marcus Mariota, he's a veteran quarterback. The things that you can possibly do with Jayden Daniels as far as discovering and disguising certain defensive schemes, if you're Matt Eberflus, certain things that you can't do with Marcus Mariota because of the veteran ability that he has of playing in this league. Now, the offense is not going to be the Commanders' offense is not going to be as dynamic as it was if Jayden Daniels was in there, but I still do think that Cliff Kingsbury and the Washington Commanders will still do a lot of RPO and try to run the ball and get Marcus Mariota on the move, because he is someone who can possibly who can use his legs, but his arm strength is not as good as Jayden Daniels. Now, also, when we look at this offense, like I said, the Commanders offense rank is number 1 at points per game. Now, I do not think that the Washington Commanders will put up a lot of points. I have this being a low scoring game just due to the fact of the Chicago Bears defense. But one thing also stood out to me with the Chicago Bears offense is this Bears offense is 3 of 16 on third down conversions in the first quarter. And that's one thing that stuck out to me, because we always tend to start off slow. We don't really get a groove until a little bit after the first quarter, second quarter, we start to get a groove. But those first couple of drives, we always tend to start slow. So I want the Chicago Bears to get off, our offense to get off on a fast start, man. Try to get off on a fast start and try to attack the Washington Commanders early if we can. Like, don't lag and don't play around with this team at all. And if we have the opportunity, we want those numbers to be better on those third down conversions in the first quarter. Now, when we look at each team and how they fare defensively, this is where the Chicago Bears come into play as far as that. When you look at the Chicago Bears defense in 2024, they're ranked 4th in giving up points per game, which is 16.8 points per game, which is the best since 2006, which was the year that the Chicago Bears went to the Super Bowl. Now, saying this defense is the monsters of the Midway from 2006, but this defense is very impressive this year, with just only giving up 16 points basically per game. Now, they're ranked 7th in total defense, so we have the top 7 defense out of the whole NFL. But when we start to get out of that top 10 rank, it's in the rushing yards. And that's one thing that has stuck out to me this year that we're not so good in as we was in years past. The Chicago Bears is giving up 112 yards per game to running backs this year and gave up 6 touchdowns to running backs. Also, they're giving up 4.6 yards per carry to running backs, which is tied for 18th in the NFL. So that running game needs to be able to get cleaned up in order for the Chicago Bears to be a successful running game team like they've been in past years. Now, one thing that is good, the Chicago Bears are taking the ball away in that secondary, which PFF ranked 19th. Yeah, right. They have 7 interceptions in 6 games so far this year, and that's a good start. But then when we look on the opposite side of the ball, the Washington Commanders defense is just not that good at all. One of the bottom half units in the league. They're ranked 22nd in the NFL, and then they're ranked 29th in multiple defensive categories. Washington defense, like I said, is in the bottom half, and Washington's offense have kept them in games under Jayden Daniels. So when we look at the matchup and we see as far as defensively, we see that the Chicago Bears have the edge as far as defensively, but with the Chicago Bears giving up that 4.6 yards per carry to running backs and those rushing yards to running backs in those games, we have to shut down Brian Robertson, which last week he had 12 attempts, 71 yards, 1 TD, and 5.9 yards per carry week 7 at the Panthers. We have to slow down this running game with the Chicago Bears allowing that 4.6 yards per carry to running back, which is tied for 18th in the league. You have to bring that number down if you want to be a Super Bowl caliber elite defense. You have to be in the top 10 of that category. Right now, they're just out of the top 10 at 11. Now, I have 6 keys to victory with this matchup with the Chicago Bears and who I feel like will take the matchup. So let's get into my 6 keys to victory, which are right here. Pull them up for me, my 6 keys to victory. There we go. 6 keys to victory is first one, stop the big play. Like, it's still undecided if Jayden Daniels will be playing, but he's listed as a game time decision. But you do not want Washington with this number one scoring offense in the league. You do not want them to get going early, especially with Marcus Mariota, who is a veteran. At the QB position, if he is to take the place of Jayden Daniels. You want to slow down a running game. Now, that running game with Brian Robinson is a big issue as to reason why the Commanders' offense is so successful this year. They lean on that running game a lot. And, of course, you can lean on that running game if you have a good running game. That helps out your rookie quarterback, but we want to slow down the running game. And then on our offensive side of the ball, we have to start fast. Like I said, with 3 of 16 on third down conversions in the first quarter, we have to get off to a better start. And the way you do that is to get Caleb in a rhythm and run the ball. So when we run the ball and get DeAndre Swift going, that can open up so much more things for Caleb Williams to get in the rhythm. And then when he starts to get in that rhythm, as we know, he used that up-tempo offense. And as we seen with that up-tempo offense, we seen how successful that has been, because when they usually go into that up-tempo offense, the Chicago Bears drive the ball down the field, and they usually either score a touchdown or come out with a field goal. So just those are my 6 keys to victory, man. Let me know how you guys feel. Who do you guys feel like will take this matchup? Predict the score for me. Comment, put your answers right underneath. The best answers will win a prize, man. So whoever predicts the score right, we will have a prize ready for you guys. Like I said, if you're a Chicago Bears fan, hit the subscribe button and share. We appreciate all the love and support. And like we said, too, for that 1985 Chicago Bears championship ring, we do have a $5 raffle. You can send your $5 cash app or PayPal and comment your name with the payment. And as you can see it on my hand right there, as you can see that 1985 Chicago Bears championship replica ring. Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been another episode of Bears News Network. And like me and Cootie always say, Bears fan all around the world and in Chicago, bear safe, be safe, and bear down.